Okay, we'll go ahead and jump into it. We got some photos to show you. Hydrangea quickfire. We got a really nice crop out there of quickfire, little quickfire, and you know the whole hydrangea team is out there ready to go. You can see there we got some really nice sizing, really good structure, full to the bottom. A lot of breaks, base breaks, which makes that really nice. Sometimes that plant quickfire can get a little single stemmed at the base, but these here we made sure we trimmed them really hard to get multiple breaks, and we got 3,000 of those ready to go. Next is should be a good surprise for everybody is tater tot, somewhat of a positive event. And we continue to see that plant gaining in popularity. That's why it was very critical. We get a lot of cuttings on that. We really raised our number up on moving forward on that plant. It's just a little bit of history there. Next is tiny wine. This one here we do have availability on. You can see here how nice the plant finished off in the fall just before we started getting frost. That's a photo from that time period. You know, this is a 2-gallon, real heavy, nice, full 15, got foliage all the way down to the bottom of the can. Tiny wine is just a little bit smaller than Little Devil. They're both very close, but tiny wine is just a little bit tighter growth, a little bit smaller leaf, you know, so if you're splitting hairs, that's how you go there. We decided to keep tiny wine in a 2, and Little Devil we pushed towards the 3. So we got good availability there, 1,400 of them or so. So we can do there. Salix Hironashiki. We were out of these last year. We had to desperately do things. This year we have plenty of them in the spring buckets. You know, this is the crop there. We will do a dormant trim on this, you know, to bring it back just a little bit to keep a more globe shape when it starts to push its leaves out. But it will still be, you know, a nice size. Last year we were really cheating it. Some of the ones that went out in the spring were right at grade. This year we'll definitely have that nice full 15-inch plus plant. So we just wanted to show you that. And there is availability. Syringa Bloomerang Dark Purple. The crop did excellent. That plant continues to wow us up here in the larger sizes. It just has excellent disease resistance. Its blooming is just great. You know, I was surprised that it is listed as deer resistant, so that one kind of surprised me. So we wanted to throw that in there for those of you who have concerns about that. And you know, these things were flowering all the way till it froze a week or so ago. So it's true to its name. It will bloom all year long, and just excellent disease resistance. So we really like that. And then, you know, the dark purple color. Spirea wedding cake. It's fairly new to us. This is kind of one of those plants that the name really drives it. It was really a good choice as far as a name and branding and everything. The plant is a nice plant, but something to be aware of, it does not rebloom during the year. So this one fits more in the Van Hoot or Snow Mound category, where you get a real good heavy bloom in the spring, and then the rest of the year you have green foliage. It's very graceful in its shape. You know, it's halfway between basically a snow mound and a Van Hoot. So it kind of mounds and graceful. You will get a little bit of rebloom, it's not much. So it's just that spring focus, a lot of bloom. And it seems to be very popular. I think a lot of that popularity is driven by the name, but just make sure that people understand it is not like a reboot. diarrhea like a lot of the other ones out of the proven winner. All right, Taxus wardii. We have some real nice 5 gallons out there. 7 gallons and Taxus continue to be, even the 5s continue to be kind of on the short side. Other than the uprights, we still have good availability like Hickseye and Captains. But, this is definitely worth pushing out there. We're short on the Densies. Even the Everlow, there's probably not enough to sustain where we want to go. So just make sure you keep talking about wardii as a substitution if they can do that. We are doing everything behind the scenes to bring those numbers up on Taxus. We are out there looking in the open market as well. I will tell you it's very short. There seems to be kind of a nationwide shortage going on Taxus. And that has a lot to do with, it took a little bit for Zelenka Gardens Alive thing to work out. But now that that's completely out of the game, that has created a huge hole, a huge vacuum in the market. Stay tuned. My Burning Blue Muffin, photo up there, there you go. You can see it, it's in different stages. Her photo in the middle was before a few weeks before the freeze, and then kind of right there during the freeze when it started getting cold, and they're completely dormant now. But you can see the real nice structure that we have on those 3 gallons, full to the bottom of the can. They'll have leaves in the spring all the way down to the bottom of the can, and really good sizing on them. They're well over the 24-inch, with nice branches over that 24-inch. We also have some 7 gallons out there as well, but by far, I think that the best value would be these 3s. I don't want to take away from the 7s, but the 3s are definitely, pushing really nice sizes. So the wholesaler or the landscaper would be very happy with this. All right, and the last one should be Wine and Rose. Just wanted to talk a little bit about Weigelia, what we've done, what we've changed. So last year, obviously, we ran out. We had some issues with crops during the summer, which we have those issues corrected, and then we took winter damage. So what we've done is we now, there are Weigelia in the nursery that are tented, okay, which is something we never did before. And we also put probably 70% or better of the Weigelia in a minimal heat environment. So, we can keep those minimally heated so we don't have as much risk. Our goal is by next year to have them all in minimal heat. We're not really going to try to force it. I mean, there are some that will do, but it's really difficult to force a Weigelia until you get enough sunlight because it really needs light to darken up the foliage. If you force it too early, it'll just be green. So it's really difficult to get a lot of growth on it, really full and lush at our latitude with our sunlight, much before Mother's Day. So
last time we talked about Floridas and the varieties. We got the pictures in here for everyone to see. I guess one thing to remember when you're looking at Cousas and comparing them to Floridas, Cousas do bloom later than Floridas. So if someone really likes dogwoods, you can stage it with Floridas and going into Cousas. The first one up here is Galzam. This is a zone 5 to 8, 20 foot high, 20 foot wide. You can see the flowers in it. Cousas are very disease resistant. There again, they will tolerate full sun, but they probably do a little bit better with partial shade. This one will bloom in late May, early June, and as you can see here, it's loaded with a lot of white flowers. Kousa Select was one that we had picked out. This one was known for having a lot of flowers on it. Other than that, it's pretty similar to regular Kousa, 15 to 30 foot high and wide. pretty much everything's the same here. The other thing to remember with Cousas, especially when comparing them to Florida's, they're a lot more disease resistance, and you don't have the anthracnose issue on the leaves. Penelope Pink is a white selection. You see here by the picture, both the one out in the field and then also the one in the house. This plant's going to be narrower than what it is tall. It's going to be 15 to 20 high, and it's only going to be 5 to 8 to 10 feet wide. So it's a little more columnar in shape. Good pink flower. This is one of the better pinks out there as far as the Cousas go. And this one usually will hold color until July. Radiant Rose is another pink. See here by the picture, it's not quite as impactful as Penelope, but if you scroll a little bit over to the right, please. One of the main claims to this one is also the fall leaf color. You see here, it's a bright red. So that's another trait with this one. All Cousa varieties will also have a red fruit, which is edible. I can't honestly say if I've eaten those over the years. I may have tried it, but it's also good for birds as well. Jay's Lake Flower was a selection. It's just one of the ones we found that bloomed a little bit later and held on to the flowers a little bit longer. So typical Cousa is just flowers going to be a lot later, 20 foot high and 20 foot wide. Samzan, this one has a variegated leaf on it. If you look really close at the picture, you can see it's got a little bit of a creamy edge to it. 25 foot high, 20 wide. All these plants are good and hardy, zone 5 to 8, and they will bloom very well for you in late May, early June. Snow Tower is more columnar. This is a white one. You see here, they're saying 15 feet high or so. It's only going to be about 6 foot wide, so it's about twice as tall as it is wide. Nice flower, blooms pretty heavily, but it's going to be more of a columnar, more for your smaller yards, smaller landscapes. Venus is actually a hybrid. This is a cross that was done. This does have, you can see here, quite big flowers on it. Zone 5 to 9, it goes a little bit further south. It's going to be 15 to 20 feet high, a little bit wider. You can see the list there at 18 to 24. Nice big flowers. This is some breeding that was done. That was one of the main reasons that they put this one out there.
Okay, I think that
And
was
that
it.
would be the last one.
Yeah.